LBSi's AMMP Sales Quotation and Sales Order Console each offer a transparent view of the sales quotes and sales orders that are currently in your database. These screens are great for when you need to look at key information on multiple sales quotes or sales orders at one time. Let's begin first with the AMMP Sales Quotation Console. To access this window, navigate to Sales, AMMP Sales Quotation Console. This will display the AMMP Sales Quotation Console. In the header portion of the window will be several fields that help sort the data to your specific needs. The first header field is the starting quote date. This is where you can enter in a starting date to view the data from a specific starting date. Next, in the ending quote date field is where you can specify an ending date to narrow the results down even further than just the starting date. You can enter a specific customer to view the sales quotes by in the customer field. If you want to view the data by a particular salesperson, you can do so by selecting a salesperson from the drop-down selection. In the owner field, you can select which owner you want to view the data for by selecting an owner from the drop-down selection. Moving on to the project field, you can specify a project in order to view all the sales quotes that are assigned to that project. The sales quote status field will allow you to select which sales quote status you want to view the data by. Then, in the line status field is where you can specify what line status you want to filter the screen by. Next, in the AMP document status field is where you can narrow down the results by specific AMP document status. You can select which item group you want to filter the data for by selecting an item group in the item group field. If you want to narrow the results down even further, you can do so by selecting a specific item in the item field to view the data for a single item. Below that, in the warehouse field is where you can select which warehouse you want to view the results for. Next, in the sort by column is where you can select if you want to sort the data by the expired date, customer, or the item group. Finally, in the display field is where you can choose to display the data by items or just the summary of the data. With all the header information out of the way, we can move on to the column level details. The first column will contain the sales quote number, and you can drill down to the specific sales quote by clicking on the golden arrow next to the quote number. Following that, in the item column will be the item number of the corresponding item from the sales quote. You can also drill down to the item master record for the item by clicking on the golden arrow next to the item number. The description column will contain either the name or description of the item. The item group that the item belongs to will display in the item group column. Next, in the quote date column will be the posting date of the corresponding sales quote. The expired date column refers to the valid until field on the sales quotation document. The warehouse that is tied to the line item on the sales quote will appear in the warehouse column. Moving on to the quote quantity column, this will display the quantity of the item that appears on the related sales quote. The customer number column refers to the customer from the sales quote. You can drill down to the business partner record for the customer by clicking on the golden arrow next to the customer number. The name of the corresponding customer will appear in the customer name column. If there is a project associated with the sales quote, it will display in the project column. Likewise, if a project is associated with the line item itself, then it will appear in the line project column. Finally, in the reference column will be the value that appears in the customer reference number field on the sales quotation document. This screen is only used to view information on your sales quotes, so you cannot make any adjustments to any of the column fields. Now let's take a look at LBSi's AMP Sales Order Console. To access the screen, navigate to Sales, AMP Sales Order Console. You will notice that this screen is similar to the AMP Sales Quotation Console, so we will only go over the new fields on the screen. Starting off with the header portion, the only difference here is that the owner field is no longer on the screen, and the sales quote status field has been changed to sales order status. Moving on to the column detail fields, the first new column is the sales order number column. This will display the order number from the sales order. The next new column is the order date column. This will show you the posting date from the corresponding sales order. The delivery date column will display the delivery date from the line item on the sales order. Moving on to the ordered quantity column, it will display the quantity of the item ordered on the sales order. The Ship Quantity column will show you how much of the quantity from the sales order has been shipped. Then, in the Remain Quantity column, it will display how much quantity is left to ship for the sales order. If the sales order is tied to a production order, then the completed quantity from the linked production order will appear in the Completed Quantity column. The final new column on the screen is the Quantity on Hand column. This will display the on-hand quantity of the item from the corresponding warehouse. Just like the AMMP Sales Quotation Console, this screen is only meant to provide you information about your sales orders, so you cannot make any adjustments to any of the following columns. LBSi's AMMP Sales Quotation and Sales Order Consoles help to provide you useful information when it comes to sales quotations and sales orders in your system. Join us in future videos as we break down how LBSi's AMMP module can help you improve your existing SAP Business One planning functionality. Be sure to click the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss a new video. As an SAP Gold partner, LBSi can help you take full advantage of everything the system has to offer. To get in contact with us, visit our website at www.lbsi.com and navigate to the contact link. You can also email us at sales@lbsi.com for sales-related inquiries, or SAP support at lbsi.com if you're an existing client in need of support assistance.